Welcome to Becoming Limitless. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to optimize their brain and their body with biohacking. I'm going to teach you how to eliminate brain fog and upgrade your health so you can have more productivity, energy, and growth in your business. I'm your host, Tanessa Shears. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Becoming Limitless podcast. This is episode 15. So I have to ask you, how has your sleep been lately? Have you been getting luxurious quality sleep? Have you been waking up feeling energized and excited and in a good mood? This is what we are talking about today. You guys know I love talking about sleep. I love talking about how to biohack your nighttime routine and how to get more REM sleep and how to just overall get the most bang for your buck out of your sleep. So we are talking about how to biohack your CEO sleep sanctuary, and that's your bedroom. We are talking about how to optimize your bedroom so that you can get the most amazing sleep so you can wake up feeling amazing, so you can have productive days in your business, so you can stay focused and you can feel clear and you can feel sharp. We are biohacking your bedroom. And I used to just think that a bedroom is a bedroom, meaning like it is just a room where you put your bed, you go to sleep and you wake up. And I never really gave it a lot of thought. Like my biggest priority for my bedroom used to be how pretty it looked. And I'm the type that like in my bedroom, I like to go for that hotel look, meaning neutral colors, very clean, simple, chic, meaning I like the mirrors and the pretty lamps and everything like that. Not a lot of clutter, super minimal. And that's what I used to prioritize for my bedroom. And, as far as getting a good sleep, when I moved into my place back in 2015, I installed one of those blackout roller blinds and I was like, hey, I am doing great. I've got a roller blind. That means I can block out the light and I'm going to sleep great. And that's about as much as I thought about it. But when I was earning my designation as a certified sleep science coach, I found out that there is so much more that goes into an amazing bedroom that is designed to give you the most optimal sleep, to design the sanctuary that your brain, the CEO of your business, gets to rest and recharge. There's so much more to biohacking your sleep than roller blinds and comfy sheets. So if you remember back on Instagram, if you were with me at this time, I actually did something called Project Sleep, in which I did an experimentation on my own sleep live on Instagram. And I've talked about this before, but essentially what I did was I showed all the data from my Fitbit watch, how much sleep I was getting, how much awake time, how much dream sleep, how much deep sleep. And as I added different biohacks one at a time, I showed directly what had the biggest and what had the least impact on these numbers. So because of that, I know exactly what works. And that is what we're going to be talking about today and what I'm going to teach you, how to biohack your CEO sleep sanctuary. So if you're relatively new to the podcast and you haven't been listening since the beginning, I'm just going to do a quick review of what biohacking is. So it's essentially hacking your own biology. It's coming up with solutions that you can implement that have a measurable outcome on your health, your longevity, your well-being, your energy, how you feel each day. So for example, if I adjust the temperature of my bedroom and I get more deep sleep, that is a way of biohacking my sleep. And I know it sounds a lot more intense and scary than it is biohacking, but it's really not. It's a lot of fun. It is essentially just self-experimentation on your health and your well-being and how you feel every day and deciding from the data you collect, what do I want to keep that I'm doing? What did I implement that actually didn't have that much of an effect? And then deciding going forward what we're going to make part of our regular routine. So I'm going to be giving you plenty of tips today and things that you can implement literally tonight if you wanted to. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about the 4 different areas in which you can upgrade your bedroom to make it more conducive to sleep. And I work with clients all the time, and what I like to do is talk about their bedrooms and what their window treatments are like and what the temperature's like and what their mattress is like. Because sometimes I find that, for example, if you are missing out on that dream sleep, that REM sleep at the end of the night, well, maybe one of the things that we can look at is Is sunlight creeping in the morning and waking you up? Is your bedroom too cold? Is it too warm? Because all of these things directly have an effect on the quality of sleep that you experience. So we're not only doing things like, removing blue light, changing your behaviors and stuff like that, but we're also making sure that we craft the most ideal environment for you to get the best quality sleep. So we're going to start with something that I like to do all the time, and I like to do it repeatedly throughout the year, just as daylight changes and as, it gets darker in the winters and brighter in the summers. I like to do something called the hand test, and you can try it tonight before you go to bed. So if you are laying in bed and all the lights are out and the windows are closed and you've maybe just put down your book for the night, I want you then to stick your hand out about 6 inches in front of your face. Can you see your hand? If you can, your bedroom is too bright. This is called the hand test. So what this means is if you can't see your hand, great. Your bedroom is dark. It's going to promote a great quality sleep. If you can see your hand, what we need to start doing is looking for how light is creeping into your bedroom, because trust me, even if you don't feel like you are sensitive to sleep, like for me, if light creeps in my room in any way, whether a text message notification goes off or a door creaks open, like I will wake up. But even if you don't wake up, it could be disrupting the quality of your sleep. So we need to make sure we keep the ambient light that's in your room in check while you're asleep. So the first thing you're going to want to do for light that is getting in your room is you need to get better window coverage. What we're talking about is swapping out the light drapes or, even the blinds that you might have in place. And we're going to make sure it is something that completely blocks out the light. This is especially important if you live in an area that has street lights outside of your window, if a neighbor leaves a bright light on, if you're in a populated city area where it doesn't really ever get dark. There are two options. There are curtains, which are blackout, and I've talked about these before and how to choose great curtains, but you have blackout blinds and you have roller blinds. And if you've heard me talk about these blinds before, you know that they don't do the job on their own. So what I do like to do is invest, pay a couple of bucks, go on Amazon, get some double-sided Velcro, and make sure you are sealing your curtains to the wall, because it may not be as noticeable in the winter, but as summer comes up, what happens is the sun begins rising earlier, 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m., 5 a.m., and that sun is naturally going to start creeping in to the sides of the blinds, and that can cause you to wake up. So making sure you're just taking some double-sided Velcro, sealing it to the wall so that you get the best sleep. The second thing is you're going to have a look around your room and you're going to see where are the LED lights coming in. So for example, I have a Sonos sound system and the light on it does tend to stay on all night. So really easy. I got some black electrician's tape and I popped it over the LED light. The other thing you're going to want to look for is things like charging things, like your phone, for example. If your phone is charging, when my phone reaches full charge, a bright green light lights up. Or if someone texts you in the middle of the night, even if your phone is on silent, maybe the light will start blinking. So all of these things we need to take into consideration. So the way I deal with that is I just keep my phone in a drawer while I am asleep. The other thing you can do is just make sure it's face down so that those lights are not disrupting your sleep. So those are the two things that are going to help you if you failed the hand test. So on the topic of light, another thing that you can do to biohack your bedroom is change out your light bulbs. So you can either go one of two ways. If you have a normal, like a bright white or yellow overhead light in your room, what you can do is for your bedside table lamps, you can swap the light bulbs to red light bulbs. So what this will do is it'll keep the blue and fluorescent white lights out of your eyes when you're trying to wind down and go to sleep at the end of the night. The other thing that you can do is you can invest in these light bulbs. And I know one of my clients has them. I don't have them personally, but they hook up to an app. And what you can do is change the light color of the bulb and have it programmed to do that through the day. So they can start as like a regular white light bulb in the morning. And as the day goes on, they go yellow. This is a great way to slowly start pulling out the light that is going to be disrupting your sleep. And I did an episode all on biohacking melatonin and how blue light affects that. So definitely go listen to that episode if you're wondering how light can actually affect your sleep. And on the topic of phones, another thing that you can do that really makes your sleep environment much more effective is to put your devices onto airplane mode before you go to sleep. This is something that I do every single night without fail. So what this does is it helps you to eliminate the electromagnetic pollution from your bedroom while you sleep. Because if you think about it, you're sleeping with your phone like 6 to 12 inches from your head. And the amount of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth that your brain is exposed to for that prolonged period of time every single day, like we just don't know the long-term effects of it. So I just really like to shut it down and make sure that if it's going to be on my bedside table all night, that it is on airplane mode. And although the long-term effects of this chronic exposure all day long to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, although they are unknown, personally, I just don't want to be exposing my brain to something that I don't know the effects of. So I find personally, if I experience far less frequent wake-ups with my phone on airplane mode, meaning I find that when I look at my Fitbit data in the morning, if you have a Fitbit and you know how the app works, you get a red spike on your sleep graph every time your brain wakes up. I find I have much fewer of those when I switch my devices to airplane mode. It's such a simple shift that you can start doing tonight. It ensures your sleep also will not be interrupted by dings and pings, meaning text messages coming in, calls coming in. And I know I have some clients that definitely have children that are out late at night or they don't live at home and they want them to be able to reach. So this might not be something that you can implement right away, but even just turning off the Bluetooth is better, and turning off the Wi-Fi, but still leaving the cell phone signal on so that you can get messages if there is an emergency. The alternative is just to unplug your Wi-Fi router at night or put a timer on so that that power outlet is turned off at a certain time. So say, for example, you go to bed at 9:30, 9 o'clock like we do. If we turned our Wi-Fi off at 9:30, then we would not be experiencing all that electromagnetic pollution all night long, and we could wake up in the morning and have it scheduled to turn back on. So these are just options on how you can really improve your environment to make sure that you are getting the most effective sleep. Now, lights and electromagnetic waves and hand tests aside, we can also look at the temperature of your bedroom as something that can seriously affect the quality of your sleep. The ideal temperature to start out as, if you're going to be testing your sleep, is either 65 degrees Fahrenheit or about 18 degrees Celsius. So one of the things I do is a couple hours before bed, I do go into my room and turn the temperature down if it's not already at that level. And I'm going to tell you right now, this does feel cool, but that's okay because we want to allow our body temperature to drop a couple of degrees to help with melatonin production. If it is too warm in our bedroom, it's actually going to disrupt the quality of our sleep. So we want to be looking at the temperature and making sure that it works for us. This is something that you experiment with over time, meaning you set the temperature to start and then you find it's just too cool and you're waking up cold all the time. Then you can either add on a layer or you can just up the temperature a little bit. So start with that as a baseline, 65 Fahrenheit or 18 Celsius, and then adjust from there. I know for me, for the last couple of nights, I've been waking up really cold, like feet cold, shivering cold, and it has been getting colder with the temperature outside. So what I've actually done is I added an extra layer of PJs, meaning I went from like wearing a tank top and pants to bed to a sweater, and I found I had less frequent nighttime wake-ups as well. I'm constantly experimenting and adjusting to see where my body is at right now. To take this one step further, you can follow the lead of one of my clients that actually installed a system to take care of the bedroom temperature for her so she doesn't have to go walking around her house and adjusting the temperature up and down night and day. She just found a system to do it for her. And there are systems that you can buy that actually you can set each room's temperature individually and adjust it automatically based on either a schedule that you set, meaning like we spend a lot of time in the kitchen at the morning and at night, so it gets a little warmer in there and cooler during the middle of the day. Or you can actually do it with a motion sensor. And this is one of the systems that one of my clients got set up in her home a couple of weeks ago. And basically, if there's nobody in the room, the heating system does not keep that room heated. So not only does this save money and electricity, but it also makes sure that the rooms are temperature optimized for the amount of time you spend in them. So if you don't have a fun and fancy heating system that automatically changes the temperature of your house and all the different rooms like we do, we just have electric baseboard heaters. There are other options to help you find that perfect bedroom temperature depending on whether it is the middle of summer, the middle of winter, or somewhere in between. You can invest in a fan or air conditioning in the summer, open the window, things like that to just help keep air flowing. I know for us, we don't have air conditioning because it doesn't get terribly hot here in the summer, but we do sleep with our bedroom window open when it gets really warm, and we also have a fan to help keep us cool. In the winter, you can either just turn on the heating system, or sometimes if you just want to heat a specific area, a heating lamp works really well just to help kind of heat your area around you if you find that you don't want to heat up the whole house. Now, on the topic of the room temperature, there's also room humidity. 65% humidity has been shown to actually be quite a comfortable sleeping humidity, because if you've ever had a fan on all night and you've woken up and the air is really dry, it can cause breathing discomfort, which can disrupt your quality of sleep. I mean, I don't know if you've ever woken up with a really dry throat before because the fan's been blowing on you all night or your nasal passage is completely dried out. We don't want that. So we can find our perfect humidity by just investing in a simple humidifier that we can find, at the local hardware store or, online. There's plenty of options for you to choose from. There's also the option to invest in house plants that can purify the air so that the air you are breathing is better quality. So some options that you can have available to you are devil's ivy, a peace lily, a spider plant, a snake plant. All of these are really good ways to purify your air naturally. I will leave a link to a whole list of houseplants, but I do want you to know that if you have children or pets, I find that a lot of these air purifying plants can actually be toxic or poisonous to kids and pets. So definitely check first before you go out and buy a plant. I know I had a peace lily when I first moved into our home, and I absolutely loved it, and I loved the air purifying qualities of it, but I got a cat, and those plants are poisonous to cats, so that plant was actually one of the first plants to go, unfortunately, so do make sure you check first. But I mean, if you don't want to get a plant, and you have kids and a pet, you can just buy an air purifier. This is especially important if you live in either a city environment that is polluted, dusty, or that just has a lot of traffic driving by, or if you live in an older home and there is the possibility of more dust kickup or, toxin exposure. So we've talked about two different categories when it comes to regulating a wonderful sleeping environment. We've talked about the darkness and your ability to perform the hand test. We've talked about your temperature and humidity of your room. Now we need to talk actually about what you put on your body, your comfort while you sleep. So it is recommended that you either, if temperature permits, you either sleep without clothes or in loose PJs that don't stop lymphatic drainage. So often we have a system in our body called the lymph system, and it is responsible for draining excess fluid. Now, if you have PJs that have, really tight armbands for some reason or waistbands, what it'll actually do is it'll prevent that fluid from draining out properly. So you want to think of things like loose nighties, oversized PJs, big shirts. If you're a woman, you want to make sure you're not sleeping in a bra because that can actually block the lymph fluid from draining around the breast area specifically. And there have been some studies that have shown that can link to breast cancer. Not that it's necessarily a cause, but it has been a correlation. So that's actually why I stopped wearing a bra to bed about 6 or 7 years ago. Something to definitely think about. So is your pajama loose and comfortable? Can you move around? Does it cut any circulation off, or is it tight or restrictive in any way? As far as your comfort goes, the other thing you can do is use cotton sheets that are breathable and promote thermoregulation. So before I figured out that this affected my sleep, we went to invest in a mattress protector, and we didn't know what to get. So we just got a basic one off of Amazon, and we brought it home and we put it on our bed and we went to sleep. And oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many times I woke up that night sweating. So warm. I was overheating, and it was because of the plasticky liner that was actually on the sheet protector that was preventing the mattress from allowing my body to breathe during the night. And we ended up taking it off, and we haven't put it back on since, but it really disrupted my sleep. And we don't think of things like that, like the sheets we use and the PJs we have and the mattress protectors we have on. We don't always think of those as things that can affect the quality of our sleep, but they do. So make sure that you're using a type of sheet that is breathable and promotes thermoregulation. That basically just means allow your body to regulate its own temperature and allow it to breathe so you don't end up freezing cold or sweating in the middle of the night. The last category of a CEO sleep sanctuary and how to biohack it is how to affect the sound environment. So I know I've probably said this before, but I am a very light sleeper. I wake up to nearly any noise. Like just the other night, one of the baby proofing cabinet locks that's in my daughter's room, I guess the 3M sticky tape on the back fell off and the lock fell onto the floor in the middle of the night. And it woke me up, even though it was at the other end of the house. It woke me up and I was startled and my heart was beating and I had such problems getting back to sleep. And not to mention, I have a cat. She absolutely loves when we accidentally leave out those little baby proofing plug filters. You know, the little plastic ones that you stick in the outlet so that babies can't stick their fingers in there? Most of the time, we remember to plug them back in, but the odd time we don't, we leave it on the counter by accident. She loves to knock it off and then chase it around the house like it's a hockey puck. And I feel terrible for the neighbors that live underneath us, but more so, it wakes me up. So I have a choice. I either get to lay there and listen to her play hockey with it and try to go back to sleep, or I have to get up, completely wake myself up, go downstairs and find that little plug and take it away from her. So I need to make sure that A, I remember to put the plug things back in, but B, that I'm doing my best to create a neutral soundscape. So I find on the nights, if I'm sleeping in the dead silence of the night and those noises happen, I'm going to wake up. So what I've done is I have taken a two-part solution to this. So number one is I wear earplugs to bed. I just the little kind that my husband brings home from work. He just brings them home. I roll them up. I put them in my ears at night. Yes, they usually fall out during the night, but I have a little stash that sits on my nightside table as backup in case I lose one in my bed. So I have those and I put those in. I also invested in a sound machine and I absolutely love it. I can leave the link below to the sound machine that I actually have. It is a wonderful model that I got off of Amazon when my daughter was born, but when she took hers with her, I loved my sound machine so much that I just went out and bought my own and I listened to it and I have it on at about the same volume that a shower would be on. So if you're standing in the bathroom and the shower is on, at that volume is the volume at which I play the white noise from my sound machine. So the purpose of that is if my cat decides to go downstairs and play hockey with the little baby proofing plug, it is much less likely to wake me up because it didn't break the silence of the night. So I love having a sound machine and my earplugs. So I've talked to a couple of parents on this specifically, and they always say to me like, I have a baby. How do you do that and still hear your baby cry at night? And I honestly think it's just genetically something that happens when I became a mom is that my ears became, if you can believe it or not, even more sensitive to sound. I wake up so much easier now and my brain even like imagines her crying sometimes at night. Like last night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, is that her crying or am I making that up? So I have found personally, even though I'm wearing earplugs, even though I have a sound machine, even though she's at the other end of the house, for me personally, it hasn't been an issue and I have never not woken up when she has cried. So although if you're a new parent, this might be different for you and it might be something you want to experiment with. But I mean, for me, I'm such a light sleeper that these earplugs and the sound machine, they're a non-negotiable when it comes to creating the ultimate CEO sleep sanctuary because I need to be a CEO during the day and I need to do an amazing job in my business. And I can't do that if I'm always waking up during the middle of the night and losing out on deep sleep or REM sleep or just even up in the middle of the night tossing and turning because I can't fall back asleep. So there you have it. If you are a CEO and you run your own business and you're an entrepreneur that is always on the go just like I am, these are the biohacks that you must include in your sleep sanctuary to have a wonderful sleep. The 4 we talked about are the quality of the light, or rather the lack of light in your bedroom and doing the hand test, checking out the temperature and humidity of your bedroom, your comfort with what you wear and what you put on your bed, and the soundscape that you create, whether it's quiet or it's loud. The quality of sleep that you are going to get depends on the room you are sleeping in. So this is your call to create the ultimate CEO sleep sanctuary. So if this has been so interesting to you and you love the idea of biohacking your sleep, I would love for you to check out the book that I wrote from my Project Sleep experiment. It's called Focus: Hack Your Sleep for More Productivity, Energy, and Growth in Your Business. You can get it either on Kindle or paperback on Amazon. Just search Focus and Tanessa. This is actually the book that I wrote with all of the extra hours that I created in time and productivity because I transformed my sleep. I was able to get such amazing energy, and I was able to wake up earlier because I had had a full night of sleep, that I was like, well, with this time, I'm just going to write exactly what I did and share it with other entrepreneurs so that they can have the same mental clarity and energy that I do. This book is a deep dive on sleep, and it helps you make simple step-by-step changes to your sleep so you can maximize your intelligence, boost your mental clarity, and show up to your business at least 90% of your peak capacity. So like I said, I will leave a link in the description if you want to check out the book that I wrote all on hacking your sleep for entrepreneurs. It's called Focus, or you can just search Focus and Tanessa, my name, on Amazon. And I hope that you really enjoy that. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast because I would love to have you as a regular subscriber of my show, and then leave a review so this podcast can get into the hands of other entrepreneurs just like you who are trying to have amazing quality sleep. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye. Ready to begin each day feeling energized and focused? I'd love to work with you one-on-one. In my Becoming Limitless program, you're going to learn how to optimize your brain and body with science and biohacking so you can be highly productive and grow your business faster. Join me over at TanessaShears.com/work with me. I'll see you there.